Alright, hello everybody. Today I'm doing a review on Dr. Stone Reboot Byakuya. Now, this volume was not what I expected. I'll explain later on in the video, but first, I'd like to say, I finally got volume 15. You know how much I've been waiting for this. It was a good volume as well. But it ended on a massive cliffhanger, Oh, it's actually stressful because I don't know when I'm going to be able to get 16. But that was a good volume. Anyway, now let's talk about this. Now, the reason I got this was I just had to. Byakuya is my favourite character in the series. Like I said in my Dr. Stone review, every time a panel of him comes on, I'm just like, oh, this is going to be plot heavy, good story. And that's what I look for in a series. But this robot here actually played a key role in this. I'll try and find a scene of him. Now, I've decided to do this video in a different style. The further we go throughout the video, the more I'm going to say about the series, and at the very end I'm going to give away a massive spoiler. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then stop watching now, because going into this blind, I am very surprised how good this is. But anyway, so basically the plot is, when Byakuya went into space and the world turned to stone, he was in space, so he didn't get turned to stone. So he's on the ISS, and he brought this robot up with him. This was the first supercomputer in space. Now when they're stressing out about what to do, they can use the supercomputer. That's how they end up on Earth, which we already saw they got back to Earth in the series. And after the first 3 chapters, let me find the chapters page. I think it's waiting for Byakuya is a busy job. I think that's the first chapter. And then from there, it goes through this robot's struggles to survive in space. And this robot has to change the ship's fuel system to something that he can produce in space. He has to learn to survive without support from the Earth on the International Space Station. So if I can find a good page for it. There's a lot of times here, this is a spaceship he makes to try and get some materials, and then he goes out and he has to use a comet as the fuel system. This is the point where it's going to get pretty spoiler heavy, so I'd click off now, because going into it with less knowledge makes it so much better, not knowing what to expect. But if you're still watching, then it's your own fault. So this is what the space station ends up looking like. Now, if I can find the page here, I'm going to talk about the last couple of chapters. So here you can see he's in pretty bad shape. Now, let me just get in a better position. So, if you've already read it, which is the main people this part of the video is for, then you'll see this massive 3D printer thing where he reprints himself. And as you can see, 3,718, the day Zenku awoke. So we know he survived until Zenku's awakened into this better space station. Now this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, you people who have already read it. This twinkle here, so Zenku asks Chrome about stars in the sky. Now Chrome says, if I can find it, outer space is just a hobby for Zenku. He's only got time to focus on the essential logical work, so he's not staring up at the light sky. That's how it's been for him since he broke out of that stone, I bet. But me, I'm different. Now basically what he means is he's been plotting where these twinkles have been every night for years when he was younger. And it spells out a message, because I remember I was so confused. until I reread the ending bit. That's basically what this is. It's where the shines in the sky have been placed every night over that period of time Chrome was recording it. So since Rei was revived. But if you're here just for Byakuya, then, like, there's honestly not a lot about him outside of what we already know. Like, it does talk a bit more about it, mainly about how they get back down to Earth and the stress of having to get down there. But this is mainly about Rei. And I saw, I can't remember who it was. I think it was, Prof. Otaku. But he said about it not having real significance to the story. But I'd say he's wrong, because now we know that Rei is still alive and he's coming past all these challenges to Zenku's time. So chances are he might be alive for a space arc when Zenku goes up into space. Because my prediction for the future of Dr. Stone is that it'll go from past, and then they'll keep evolving technology to the present, and then we might see into the future as well, with space travel and that sort of thing. Also, this series is by Boichi, who does the story and art for this. Not the series, the single volume. He does just the art for the main series, so you know it's going to be good art. Anyway, that's everything I've got to say about this series. Goodbye.